Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about the new Lisa Eldridge Velvet Matte Lipsticks, the new ones that she's come up with. So if you've been following me, you probably know that I recently posted the lip gloss swatches and comparisons. And in that video, I talked about how I ordered all the matte lipsticks, the ones that I don't have, but two of them were missing in my order. So I reached out to their customer service and within no time they were able to respond, and within 2 days I have those two missing lipsticks as well, and here I am swatching all of them for you guys. So their customer service was excellent. I actually just reached out to them via email. There was no phone call involved and it was like zip zap zoom, everything sorted. So that was actually pretty amazing. Anyway, so like I talked about in the last video, I asked you guys how you want me to review this because I've already talked about the older lipsticks in my previous videos. So some of you said that you want all of them and some of you said, chuck the older ones and just talk about the new ones. So what I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to talk about the new ones and compare them and swatch them and do all of that with the new ones. And towards the end, I will post a quick lip swatches of all the older lipsticks that I've done in the past. So I hope that works out for you guys. So let's get started. So the first lipstick I have is Velvet Affair, and the reason why I haven't opened it too much is because I broke it while I was swatching it. So this is take two. So this is what this swatch looks like. It's this beautiful nudie caramel shade. To compare this, I have the Velvet Fawn shade, and this is slightly lighter and more pinky, and Affair is more warm. Another comparable shade, I guess, is this Velvet Muse shade. So this is more kind of peachy, and again, Velvet Affair is very warm. And another shade, which is definitely not a matte lipstick really, but this is the YSL Slim Glow Matte. So this is a caramel lipstick, and that's how they compare. These are just like the older ones, very smooth, very creamy, very matte, no slip, very comfortable. And this is such a beautiful shade. So that's Velvet Affair. So I think Velvet Fawn is pretty close, but definitely Velvet Fawn is lighter. So let's compare that. So there is definitely a stark difference between the two shades. So this is Velvet Affair. The next shade I have is Velvet Beauty. Now I'm going to be really careful and open it a little bit so I don't break it. So this one is part of a last year's release, but they were out of stock. So this year I ended up buying it, and it's this lovely, beautiful pink shade. Now to compare this, I don't necessarily have this exact shade, but I'm going to compare the pink ones that I have. So this is the Pat McGrath Femmebot shade, and this is a much lighter pink shade. The next one that I'm curious about is this Nudestix shade. It's called Rose. And again, I think this is also quite light comparatively. Another pink shade that I have is from YSL, and this is the number 17 shade. And this one looks like it's quite close. This is a little bit more pink, but pretty close. And another pink from the YSL is this number 16. I think this is a lot darker. Yeah, I think this is in between these two shades from YSL. So that's Velvet Beauty. I feel like the number 17 shade from YSL is pretty close. So I'm going to be comparing this one on my lip. So this is Velvet Beauty, and this is the YSL number 17. I think they are pretty close. This is a little bit more pink, but you can probably hardly tell the difference. And they are both very comfortable. Yeah. So that's how they compare. The next one I have is Velvet Blush, and this is the new one that she's come up with this year. And I'm going to be swatching it next to Velvet Beauty, just so you can see how these two compare. So this one is definitely like a warmer, more darker, muted, rosy pink. It's so beautiful. And this one is more vibrant and bright, but still in the nude category. Both are pretty nude pinks. So for this one, I don't think I have anything comparable. Maybe this Purity shade from Nudestix might come close. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is pretty pink, and this is more on the warmer brownish side. This is such a unique and beautiful shade. Love this. Oh, so pretty. Oh, this is such a beautiful shade. So that's Velvet Blush. The next one I have is Velvet Myth. This is part of her last year's release, and I ended up buying it this year because last year it was, I think, out of stock. So this is this really beautiful maroon yet berry kind of maroon shade, and I'm just being very careful so I don't break it. Now I bought a lip liner with this one as well as the gloss, so I'm going to apply the lip liner first and then apply this lipstick. Now to compare this, I believe the comparable shades might be the Velvet Jazz that she had, but I think this might be a little bit more on the warmer red side. Yeah, and this is more kind of pinky, bluish maroon. Another one that I'm curious about is this Rare Beauty lipstick in the shade Transform. Let's see how this compares. I think this might be pretty close, but obviously they are not as richly pigmented as these. And another dark maroon shade that I have is from YSL. So this is the number 5 shade. Ooh, I think these two are pretty comparable. This one is a little bit more richly pigmented, I think, but let's see how they will compare on the lip. So first I'll apply the lip liner. These are such amazing creamy lip liners. This is such a beautiful shade. I hardly ever wear these kind of dark lipsticks, but I just love how they look. All right, so this is Velvet Myth. Now I have two comparisons in mind for this one. So first one I want to compare is Velvet Jazz, just to see how different it is. And then we'll compare the YSL one as well. So there is a definite difference in the tone of these two lipsticks. So this one's more blue and Velvet Jazz is more warm and red. They both have those maroon vibes, but that's where the difference is. This one gives you a little bit more of a darker maroony vibe, and this one's slightly lighter. The next comparison is the YSL number 5 shade. All right, so the YSL one is definitely more richly pigmented, but I feel like both lipsticks are the same shade. They are both like a berry toned dark maroon shade. I mean, if you're into lighter versions of this, maybe the Lisa Eldridge is a better fit for you. And if you're into something super dark, I feel the YSL number 5 is also amazing. And they both are, you know, extremely creamy. I can't tell the difference which one's what, basically. So they're both comfortable and both are really nice. The next shade I have is the most daring shade ever. So this is the Velvet Midnight shade. It's this more mulberry blackcurrant, very dark vampy shade. And I was just so curious. So this is from her last year's release and I could not buy this one last year. So this year I thought I'll buckle up and just get this one as well. And this is so beautiful. I mean, I don't know if I'll really wear it as much, but I still wanted to have it because I feel like it's so pretty. And I want to compare it with the Velvet Decade shade. I was just always so curious to see how these, you know, compare, because Velvet Decade also looks like a dark shade. But yeah, this one is just berry on steroids. It's so pretty and so vampy and very unique. Nothing that I have in my collection. Now to apply this, I want to try it as a tint first and see how it looks on my lip, because I think that would be more wearable for me, and then I'll, apply it properly. In fact, let me just tap this. It looks patchy on my lips because my lips are so dry, but I think the shade is really beautiful as a, tint. But I feel like I could work with it. My lips are really dry, but it's not that patchy as it could have been. It's still very wearable. And if I just top it with a gloss, I think it'll look really pretty. Wow, I love it. Now let's apply the whole thing. This is really dark for me, and I'm probably never gonna wear this lipstick this way, but I think it looks really pretty. So this is Velvet Midnight. Now, instead of comparing Velvet Midnight with something, I thought I will mix it with Velvet Beauty and see how that looks, because I want to really get some use out of this lipstick and see, the various permutation combinations that might work with this one. So let's try that. So I'm just applying a little bit of this lipstick. I think it looks really nice this way. Now taking Velvet Beauty and topping this. Ooh, that is hot. You know what this does? All the patchiness that was there, it just blurs it out. And it just gives birth to this new shade, which I really like. All right, so this is Velvet Midnight topped with Velvet Beauty. The next shade I have is from her new shades, and this is Velvet Carnival. It's supposed to be this super bright pink shade. Let's see. Ooh, that is gorgeous. I don't know how it'll look on me, but this shade is so pretty. Look at that. This is this lovely powdery, dark, rosy pink shade. Beautiful. So first things first, let's compare it with Rainbow Spill, because this was also pretty neon-y, but this is more like peachy and this is more pink. Another pink shade that comes to mind is Skyscraper Rose from, again, Lisa Eldridge. Ooh, these are, well, not exactly the same. This is more pink and this is on the kind of fuchsia maroon side. I'm actually really liking this pink shade. The more I compare these shades, I feel like this is just a very beautiful pink shade. Velvet Carnival. Oh my god, I can't wait to try this on. And another one that I have, which I know for a fact that it's going to be really different, is this YSL number 4 shade. But this is this fuchsia shade. And this is more berry and much more darker. And Velvet Carnival is this really beautiful Barbie, dark Barbie pink shade. I think that would be the best description for this one. So first I'll apply this as a light tint. Ooh, that is really nice. And it's so incredibly pigmented. That is beautiful. I love this. And you know what? I forgot. I should compare this with the Pat McGrath Full Panic shade as well, just so, you can see. Yeah, I had it handy and I forgot to swatch it. So this is Full Panic. Full Panic is, again, pink, but it's more reddish, watermelonish pink. And this is, again, really like a lovely Barbie pink. It's so pretty. I love this. And I think it'll look great on, someone who has my skin tone, or I think darker skin tones. I think this is a beautiful pink. I just want to reapply one more layer of this one. Whew, I love this. All right, so this is Velvet Carnival. All right, so the last shade I have is Velvet Dragon. This is this very muted, beautiful orange shade. Let's see. Oh, look at that. And again, I hope I am not breaking it. Sometimes these lipsticks have to be warmed up before you swatch them so hard, but this is beautiful. It's such a beautiful wearable orange shade. Now, of course, the comparable is Velvet Morning. So Velvet Morning is definitely more bright, and Dragon is more like a nudie, pumpkiny sort of orange shade. And this is the Rare Beauty shade. I think it's Brave. And this is also like an orangey shade, but this is definitely much lighter. And yeah, kind of similar, but this is so richly pigmented that the shade will look a little different on the lip. And another one I have is the YSL Slim Glow Matte Lipstick, and this is, I think, Illicit Orange. I think this is kind of similar, but it's very muted and very nudie. This is very richly pigmented and more bright. That is lovely. Just perfect for this fall season. And this is incredibly pigmented and just so beautiful. Love this. And I have broken my lipstick while swatching, and I'm just a little heartbroken. But we'll power through. I think this lipstick is just beautiful. All right, so this is Velvet Dragon. Alright, so these were all the lip swatches of the new and the older Lisa Eldridge Velvet Matte lipsticks. Now these lipsticks retail for £26, which is roughly $34, and these lipsticks are just so beautiful, so richly pigmented. One swipe and you get so much pigment, and they are not specifically drying. Even like my lips are so dry, but when you apply these lipsticks you can hardly see any dry patches on my lips. It's just the most beautiful matte lipstick in that sense. And also I feel like you are very comfortable while wearing these matte lipsticks. Usually other matte lipsticks are sometimes, you know, very clingy and they just dry off in places and they look so ugly, but these are definitely not, you know, those drying matte lipsticks. They're just beautiful. Now, in terms of the shades, honestly, I can't decide which one is my favorite. I actually really like all 4 shades that she's come up with this year. I mean, Velvet Affair is like the most beautiful nude shade that works for all skin tones pretty much. So I really like that. Velvet Carnival really surprised me. I was thinking it's going to be really dark, but on my skin tone, it just looks so beautiful. I really like Velvet Carnival. I thought it would be something that, you know, I would collect but never wear, but I think this is such a wearable shade, at least for my skin tone. So I'm really loving that shade. And Velvet Dragon is just, I mean, what do I say? It's just so beautiful for this season, and in general, like, this is such a wearable, rustic, pumpkin orange shade. It's so pretty. And I think the most wearable, or I think the most favorite probably, that something I would wear the most is probably Velvet Blush. That is such a beautiful shade. It is, I think, the shade that would work for all skin tones for a nude lipstick. It's just so beautiful, and you can just apply it as a tint, and you can apply it as a darker, you know, version of it, and it'll just look so pretty. So, I mean, I really can't decide. All of these 4 shades are just beautiful. And I would love to know which shades you like the most. So do comment in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this channel, subscribe. And until the next time we meet, bye.